We live in an era of digitalization where trillions of bytes of data are generated every minute. Not only that, but this rate of data generation is growing at an astronomical rate with the increase in internet adoption and rapid technological advancement. Just to give you a glimpse of this data generation, let me present one fact to you guys. According to the research done by World Economics Forum, by 2025, the amount of data generated each day will reach a mammoth number of 463 exabytes on a global scale. Besides that, it is said that for every grain of soil on earth, we have 400,000 bytes of data. I think these facts are enough to grasp the availability of data as a resource. And not making use of this monstrous amount of data for the betterment of human race, new discoveries and innovation will be completely unethical, right? And that's where the field of data science comes into play. Since its mainstream incarnation in 2008, data science has become the buzzword in industry. There are currently thrice the amount of job openings for data science profiles across the globe than the current number of data scientists. This demand speaks the volume about field of data science. And with this session, we are going to show you the top 10 interesting facts about this amazing domain. But before we begin with this session, make sure you subscribe to the Intellipaat YouTube channel to receive updates about more such interesting digital technology videos.
So, the first fact we have on our list and which we have discussed a little in introduction itself is availability of data resources. Data science was born out of data. Today, the volume of any form of data cannot be underestimated. Data is the true game changer that has given rise to this totally new profession of data science. It is therefore typical for everyone interested in data science to first talk and discover more about data generation. We have been reading about digital data units since we were kids, from bits to bytes to gigabytes and terabytes. Nevertheless, knowing the measuring units of all enormous data that is floating around us and powering the engines of big and small enterprises is quite thrilling. Let me help you visualize those units. Petabyte is a unit that contains 15 trailing zeros and is equal to the value of 1000 terabytes. Then we have exabyte. It is the result of 1000 to the power 6 bytes. Next we have zettabytes. 1 zettabyte contains 1000 exabytes. To sort of give you an idea, it's the unit which equal 1 billion terabytes in itself. So which is a big number, guys. Yottabyte is the biggest unit we have and it is 1000 times bigger than zettabyte. So these numbers are quite huge, aren't they? If we talk about tycoon organizations like Google, they develop daily data of 20 petabytes, accounting for almost 3.5 billion browser searches. This is not just small data. In industry, we call this big data, which is yet another domain that deals with vastness of data. And since the data science field also relies on data and is gaining traction, there are many intriguing trivia trails in the data science areas that, like data, need proper investigation. Next up, we have data you get to work upon won't be clean anytime. Remember, guys, data is wild. Even when data is gathered and cleansed with care, some data discrepancy will occur at some point, and data scientists understand how to work with those factual chaoses and noises while cleaning it up along the way. The wild data is one that contains filled with empty values, duplicate or irrelevant values, and incompleteness throughout the dataset. The collected data being dirty is one problem, but the bigger problem is joining multiple datasets into a singular entity. Data may now be acquired from many sources by various persons, softwares, gadgets, and so on. There is a strong likelihood that they will be incoherent. Just using SQL join command won't do any good here, right? And that's where the expertise of data scientist comes into play. The journey of data scientists always begin from data engineering, where they combine data sets, clean them, and formulate effective and explorable data. The third up is you do not need to be tech savvy or hold a PhD to learn data science. Data science appears to be a field of tech savvy experts, which leads to the popular misconception that in order to understand data science, one must have a super brain or possess a PhD degree. This is completely false. In reality, Anyone with ordinary intellect can study data science. You need to have common sense to figure out quantitative logical solutions, statistical intuitions, and a little bit of programming knowledge. If you possess these basic intuitions as a beginner, you can definitely go ahead and master this domain of data science. That brings us to the next fact on our list. Data science has no automation. Since data is not clean and requires quite a lot of data processing, there is no ready set of scripts or buttons to push and develop analytical models. Each data and problem is different. There is no substitute for exploring data, testing models, and validating against business sense and domain experts. Depending on the problem and your prior experience, you may dirty your hands less, but dirty you will. The only exception is if you get data in a specific format and do the same thing over and over. But that is quite impossible in the context of data science field in industry today. Having said that, let's move to the fifth fact on our list that might shock you. Data scientists and data analysts are not same at all. This is common myth among the people having a superficial idea about data science. In reality, data scientists and data analysts do quite distinct jobs. Data analysts look for patterns and analyze data, whereas data scientists look for the root cause of trend and anticipate future trends. It is worth mentioning, however, that the two function in tandem. They complement one another and work together to achieve a similar objective. Once the data is well engineered, data analysts will start finding patterns, trends that are there in data. After that, data scientists will begin understanding the reason behind that trend and will predict the possible future trends from available data. Now let's move to the sixth fact on our list. More data does not mean more accuracy. Suppose we have a data set with the exact number of minimum data entries that is required to make a correct analysis. This is an ideal data set. If we add more data, the complete data set will have to be rebuilt, taking a new data into account. While rebuilding, it will be necessary to clean the new data and spend time understanding any deviations from the old set. Even when the new data is cleaned and combined with current ideal data set, some additional elements may remain unclean and unidentified. So the small and appropriate information depicting data is the best thing to carry out deep insights. Next fact we have for discussion is that a data scientist must possess good communication skills. The entire exercise of drawing insights from data may be rendered ineffective if adequate communication is not there while delivering the reports or presentations. It is quite critical to learn public speaking, since throughout the project lifecycle, you'll have to deliver multiple presentations, sort of exploring the data, analysis you have made, and trends, etc. You might also be required to write emails or blogs explaining everything you have done with the project. So, if you wanna be part of this field, make sure you practice this aspect as well. Understand that an analysis without a proper communication in writing or otherwise is just a placeholder with no significance. So make sure you practice communication skills, guys. That brings us to the eighth fact on our list, which will resolve your misconception about data science. That is, 80% of data science projects do not require advanced deep learning modeling. Here, 80% is obviously a made up number, but the notion is that most real world situations do not necessitate advanced analytical ability. Solving real world problems involves a lot more understanding of real world problem domain, decision makers, and end users than understanding the latest and greatest discoveries in statistics. What advances the needle quickly and efficiently is far more valuable than what is rigid and pure. Simple models like linear regression, logistic regression, and k-means clustering can often work wonders when the problem is well formulated. Even for complex problems, simple models can provide large gains, which complex models can only improve marginally. That is not to say that complicated models have no place. In fact, depending on money riding, 0.1% increase in prediction accuracy may be worth millions of dollars for corporations. So make sure that you practice these difficult algorithms as well. Now that brings us to the next fact, that is, Bayesian approach is commendable to learn data science. Data science is the testing of hypotheses in a sequential manner. You must have an initial belief that you intend to show correct or incorrect observation from the data. The stronger your initial belief is, the more evident you'll need to prove it wrong. That is the essence of this Bayesian approach. But while proving your hypothesis right through data is important, proving alternative hypothesis wrong is also equally important. Alternative to Bayesian thinking is to let your data tell you stories. This can be problematic because sliced and diced some way, data will always tell a story. But without a prior belief, the story may not be true in reality. This is often a case of hindsight bias and poor research. If you want to find difference between two groups of athletes versus slobs, you can always find some. There are hundreds of thousands of human characteristics that some will come out different just by chance. The last fact on our list is about revolutionary applications of data science in the world around us. All of you must be aware of streaming tycoons such as Amazon, YouTube, Netflix, Apple TV, Spotify, etc. Once you start using their applications, you'll find out content or song recommendation from their end. Basically, all these softwares augment the user experience by providing personalized recommendation on what to watch and what to listen. Performing such a task would be impossible without gaining insight from data related to the search history of users, isn't it? And that's where data science comes into play. This is not only astounding application of data science. This field of digital technology has solved multiple problems such as credit card, fraud detection, speech recognition, airplane route planning, disease detection, image recognition, and many more. Not only that, but data science gives you the chance to predict the future, solve available problems in the system around, which sounds quite magnificent. If these facts excite you, then what are you waiting for? Start learning data science and its intricacies. That's all we have for this session. We hope that this session was informative and interesting. If you have any queries, then please feel free to let us know in the comment box below. Our team of experts will be delighted to resolve all your queries.
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.